Well, hello, wherever you are joining us from around the world. What an incredible fight week it has been here in Riyadh. The battle of the baddest this Saturday night. We find out who the baddest man on the planet is. Is it Tyson Fury? Is it Francis Ngannou? Hey, it might even be Andy Clark or Ricky Hatton. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me.
Ricky, talk to us about this fight. What an occasion. Great to see you out here.
Yeah, it's brilliant. To be honest, you just look behind you, don't you? Just look at the setup. You just know it's going to be fantastic. You know what I mean? And obviously Tyson Fury, the best heavyweight in the world, Ngannou, the baddest man, big heavy hitter, and that. You know what I mean? I hope Tyson hasn't took it too lightly. I mean, everyone's expecting him to do that. I don't. I think this is a very, very tough, strong man. And I don't think, a lot of people have said, oh, it'll go a couple of rounds. I certainly don't think it'll go a couple of rounds. If it does, you give Tyson all the credit, because this is a big, strong man he's in against too. But, yeah, this is the way it's going to be, to be honest, to be here. And just spent the afternoon with so many great champions that are going to be at ringside, you know what I mean? What an occasion we're at here today, boys.
And you came over with Joe Calzaghe, is that right? And Frank Bruno as well. It looked like a great boys' trip.
Yeah, no, really. Frank was driving me and Joe around in the scooter in Manchester Airport, so that was a good start to the weekend. But no, it's just delighted to be here. And obviously, it's got what they're doing in Saudi Arabia, whether it's with the football and the boxing. These things are going to be coming more and more often. And yeah, I think I'm just very, very excited and great to be here. It's one of them occasions where, you could always say that you've been, you know what I mean? It's the first one that Saudi are getting the teeth into. And I think this will be an absolute, wow, that's all I can say, yeah.
You've been involved in, you've seen the bright lights of Las Vegas, of course, so many countless nights at Manchester as well. Las Vegas in particular, though, for so long has been kind of like the mecca of boxing, but it feels like big fights are starting to come right here.
Yeah, times changed, boxing changed. Years ago, Madison Square Garden was the place to be, and it still is, because of its history and that. But then the big fights all moved to Vegas. That's where the money, the money was, wasn't it? That's where the big lights and everything was. And now everything seems to be shifting towards Saudi Arabia, and this is the first big, massive event they've done. And I'm delighted to be here, and it's, I'm sort of like, I'm excited about the fight. Tyson's my mate. I want him to do the business. We want him to get that, get his nose across the line and get that deal signed with the U6 fight, So it's a big fight for Tyson. Tyson really can't slip up here. But yeah, I think this is going to be the way forward, and to be here for the very, very first one, I'm absolutely made up, that Tyson's going to put on a big show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think this is going to be the way forward. I'm scared of thinking what this entrance is and this whole thing is going to be like. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a position where you have a fight, but you've got your next fight already kind of lined up? Have you ever been in that position in your career?
Yeah, very much so. It's a few times, yeah. And you can't take your eyes off the prize, and you wouldn't blame Tyson for taking his. I mean Tyson's too long in the tooth, he's too experienced, but you wouldn't blame him for taking his eye off the prize, because the most people you listen to who know the boxing but not quite, will probably saying, oh, he's never had a fight before in his life, you know what I mean? He's only going to go 1 or 2 rounds. I don't see that at all. I don't see that 1 or 2 rounds. Tyson's capable of knocking anyone out in 2 rounds. We know that, and he's got the height, reach, and speed advantage over his opponent. But this fella hits harder than probably. You look at the power Wilder's got. This fella's up there with him, and he only needs one. And Tyson knows that. And Tyson will know that if this goes bangers, he loses the Usyk one, which is the one we've been craving for so long. So no, I think Tyson will be on it tonight. But you've got to give the challenger, the credit. I don't think it's going to be a 1 and 2 round pushover. I think Tyson will have to sort him up, break him down. I think it'll be about 6 or 7, me.
Well, Andy, you met Francis Ngannou for the first time this week. You seem quite impressed by him. How do you see today going? I mean, we had a little glimpse of the shape he's in yesterday. He looks like an absolute specimen.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's in extraordinary shape, and in UFC they do actually have a limit on heavyweight at 265 pounds, and he has to cut a bit of weight, so we think he'll probably do about, well, between that and 270, something like that. And he's just really used to the big stage, isn't he? Because he's at the top of his game. And one thing that we've been kind of discussing the last few days, I want to get your opinion on, is he's not going to try and box Tyson Fury. That would be insane. So you'd imagine he'll try and come in and be as unorthodox as he can.
Yeah.
And another aspect for Tyson, though, is that, yeah, we do expect him to win, but with that date in mind, he needs to win clean, as in no headbutts, no cuts, no damage.
Yeah, well, they're talking about December, aren't they? I don't think that, I think that might be a little bit too quick. But what you've got to think about with the opponent is he's big, he's massive, he's strong, he's used to being in these clinches, he's used to physical fights. I know, and Tyson can hit massively, but he's 16-ounce gloves on. He's used to be getting hit with them little mats on. Do you know what I mean? So so they think that Tyson's got the ability and he could move and switch and walk him onto a big shot. We all know that's the case, but you got to just give him the credit where the credit's due. This challenge, he's a big, strong man. He's used to pushing and shoving and grappling. Do you know what I mean? He's used to getting hit with them little half a bag glove on. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to go over in 1 or 2 rounds, and I think it's a more tricky fight than what we're giving Tyson credit for, to be honest with you. I think there's no doubt about it. We do think Tyson will win, but I think we're disrespecting the challenger, I think, by saying 1 or 2. I really do.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that
My
insight,
pleasure.
Ricky Hatton. Thank you, Andy Clark. We're now going to head over. Well, actually, oh my God. Goodness me, let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. How are we? Well, what a swap that is.
Let's
Ricky
go,
Hatton out.
champ. What's up, fellas?
Shannon Briggs in. Now,
Yeah.
Shannon, you are a former lineal world heavyweight champion.
2 times.
2 times.
Yes, champ.
2 times lineal world heavyweight champion. Francis Ngannou could become the lineal world heavyweight champion of boxing on Saturday. Tell us your thoughts.
Amazing fight. Two guys from 2 different sports, but 2 fight sports. I'm looking forward to two biggest guys in the sport, by the way. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night of fighting. MMA fans is watching. Boxing fans is watching all around the world. It's going to be a great fight. I can't wait. You're going to hear me screaming, "Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ!"
They're both champs.
That's right. Let's go, champs!
Listen, a lot of people in the boxing community in particular are writing off Francis Ngannou. They're saying he's got no chance. He's taking on the best heavyweight in the world.
Yeah.
How can he do it?
Yeah.
How can he do it?
He got to get close. He got to fight his way in. He got to fight. He got to make it a fight. He can't try to outbox Tyson. Tyson's a skilled, pure boxer. He got to make it a fight. He got the best trainer in Mike Tyson, a guy that can show him how to get inside and work inside. If he try to stay on the outside, he going to get beat bad. But if he get on the inside, he got a chance. He got a big punch, so he got a chance.
Do you think that punch translates? Because he's used to punching people in the head in very small gloves.
Yeah.
Now he's got these bigger gloves on. Do you think there'll be much difference? Is the power going to be the same?
Well, I think he's been training about 3 or 4 months, working on it. So I think that it'll cross over pretty much. And plus, he doesn't have to wrestle. A lot of times when you're wrestling, it takes your energy. This is just punching. He should have a good, strong endurance base.
Well, Andy Clark, it's a big event. Tell me a little bit about the shape that you're expecting Tyson to be in, and let's have this conversation. What are you thinking tonight?
I think he'll be the same as he always is. I mean, he's settled around 19 stone, hasn't he, as his fighting weight. He's not body beautiful, but he's fit to fight. He's got good lungs on him. He's obviously got a good heart on him. He knows exactly where he needs to be weight-wise, and that's the key with you big guys, isn't it? You don't have to make a weight. You find your optimum weight. It might take a bit of time, a bit of experience to realise, particularly as you get a bit older, what you're really comfortable with.
Right.
I think as well, when you're that size, if you want to, you can manipulate it on the day. If you choose to eat heavy that day, you can be 10 pounds heavier than if you choose not to. So he can play with us a bit if he wants to too.
I think the key for Tyson in this fight is legs. He's got the legs. He's got legs of like a light heavyweight. He can move. He can dance. If he stands right there, he could be in trouble. If he moves for a couple rounds, tires this guy's out, get this guy confused, looking both ways, take him in a circle, and then knock him out.
How difficult is it to prepare for someone who's making their boxing debut? Tyson Fury is used to boxing boxers, right?
Yeah.
And boxers are going to do a certain amount of things. They're all kind of schooled the same sort of way, right?
Right.
This guy, we don't know how he's schooled. We don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
How difficult is that going to be to prepare for?
It's going to be quite difficult. I myself, I'm going through the same thing. I'm fighting Rampage Jackson February 17th in Florida. Okay. And I'm fighting a guy, MMA former champion, and I myself have to worry about him swinging wild punches. He's going to get knocked out, but he's going to be swinging wild punches getting knocked out.
Okay. Give me your final kind of thoughts on this, your final prediction. Right now, as you see that first bell ringing, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, what's going to happen? Come on.
Tyson Fury got that jab in his face. He can't see nothing. all he see is punches, and then all you see is the ride back home.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Shannon Briggs, for joining us. Thank you, champ.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely wonderful. Having the champ, a former two-time lineal heavyweight champion, Andy Clark.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of that just magnificent chaos of the 90s in the heavyweight era, which is one of my favourite decades. There was all sorts going on, you know, right from the beginning of it, right to the end of it. And you know, he knows his boxing, obviously. You know, he loves to have a bit of fun with the catchphrase and all the rest of it. And you know, we've all seen the videos of him in the speedboat circling around Vladimir Klitschko, but he's been in this sport an awfully long time. Yeah. And he's right, Fury just needs to try and keep it on the outside, and Ngannou has to do everything he can to make sure he gets onto the inside. It's really that simple. The big difficulty for Ngannou is you can have all the power, all the dynamite you want. If you can't detonate it, then it doesn't really count for anything. And hitting Fury clean is not the easiest thing in the world to do, although it might be a bit easier now than it used to be, given the style that he employs these days.
It's exactly that. Let's see what they're going to look like on the scales. Tyson Fury will be up in a little while. We're going to throw to Thomas Triber now on the stage, about to introduce some of the fighters.
Championship boxing to be held tomorrow in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would like to extend a big thank you to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Al Sheikh. It is all being brought to you by Sella, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry, Bob Arab's Top Rank Incorporated, and Gimmick Promotions. This great event will be televised live in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office, in the United States on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, and around the world in other territories on DAZN. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are going to begin the weigh-in process. Our first fighters to the scale, competing tomorrow in a scheduled 8-round international super welterweight contest. First to the scale, fighting out of Miami, Florida, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 12 wins, 3 defeats. 9 of his 12 wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome Robert Duran Jr.
Well, there is Robert Duran Jr., son of a legend, Andy Clark, and look, he looks in shape, looks born for this stage.
He looks in fantastic shape.
152.7 for Robert Duran Jr.
So makes it nice and easy, 154 limit, so he's over a pound under. He said to us during the week that it wasn't an issue. He arrived pretty much on weight, and he's just had to kind of keep it there during the course of the week. His dad's here. Every time I look to my right-hand side, I see someone else. Miguel Cotto, Larry Holmes. It's unbelievable.
It's incredible, and we've just had Shannon Briggs as well. I mean, goodness me.
And now we welcome to the scale, coming to us from Liverpool, England. He is undefeated with 8 wins, 1 draw. 5 of his 8 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Jack the Pilgrim McGann.
Well, here comes the man they call the Pilgrim. Fight number 10 for Jack McGann from Liverpool. He is one of those fighters who has crossed over from MMA to boxing. He was on a hell of a streak in MMA. 10 first-round knockouts in a row. Unbeaten now as a professional boxer.
153.10 for Jack McGann.
So again, you know, he looks good on the scales too. He doesn't look dry. He doesn't look too tight. He's made it by a few ounces. You're always looking to hit it as close as you can.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 8-round international super welterweight contest.
Build-up's been pretty respectful so far. Nice and respectful face-off there. You can see Martin Murray just in shot as well. Of course, the trainer of Jack McGann.
He's a tall, rangy kind of fighter, McGann, isn't he? There's a height difference there between him and Duran. Duran, to me, looks like, and when you see 152.7 on the weight, he looks to me like he could maybe do welterweight.
The scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round international heavyweight contest. First to the scale, a native of the Democratic Republic of Congo, now making his home in Airdrie, Scotland. He brings a professional record consisting of 19 wins, just 1 defeat. 14 of his 19 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Martin Bacoli.
Well, here comes Martin Bacoli, closely trailed, of course, by trainer-manager Billy Nelson, a Congolese giant and really a Scottish giant as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the size of him there, he is a significant unit. And what's impressive about him is the mobility he's got, really, and the punch output he's got for somebody that size. His last 3 fights, he's been around 20 stone. I think he'll be pretty similar here.
299.4.
Wow.
And the rest, Andy Clark.
299.4, that's 21 stone, 5 pounds.
And now we will welcome to the scale a native of Cameroon, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 40 wins, 7 defeats, 1 draw, 28 wins, coming by way of knockout. Introducing Carlos Takam.
Well, here comes Carlos Takam, fight number 49. He's coming off a brilliant win over Tony Yoka in Paris. He really wasn't expected to win that night, Andy, but he did.
He did, and he did it comfortably, and he looks in nice nick. Generally speaking, he'll come in about 18 and a half. That's unnecessarily heavy from Bacoli for me. It really is.
Yeah.
20 pounds heavier. You look at him when he took his shirt off, and you could see a little bit of a belly there. I don't know what the thinking behind that is, if I'm honest.
Could be the hotel buffet, that one, Andy. We have warned about that one.
257.1 for Carlos
257,
Takam.
so that's 18 stone 5. That's pretty much exactly what he was in his last fight, a couple of pounds lighter. And as we've been saying, he looks in outstanding shape for anyone of any age, let alone somebody of 42. And there'll be a plan behind this weight of Bacoli's.
Yeah.
But if I'm honest, I wasn't
Once again, ladies and
expecting
gentlemen,
that.
these two competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 10-round international heavyweight contest.
Because if you look at him there, look at him from side on, you can just see the stomach sticking out a bit. You can just see that kind of roll underneath his shoulder, halfway down his rib cage. That's spare weight. That's excess weight that doesn't necessarily need to be there.
Yeah, it is a surprising weight from Martin Bacoli. It is a career high from Martin Bacoli. Let's see if it makes him more effective.
It could.
Our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 6-round international heavyweight contest. First, we will welcome to the scale, coming to us from Budapest, Hungary. He brings a professional record consisting of 10 wins, just 1 defeat. 8 of his 10 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Istvan Bernal.
Well, it's fight number 12 for the 34-year-old from Hungary, Istvan Bernal. And Andy Clark, you were looking into this guy earlier this week. He's boxed everyone as an amateur.
Yeah, a very extensive international amateur career. I saw him once at the final qualifier for the Rio Olympics out in Venezuela. He lost his first fight over there, but he's been in with a lot of people. He got stopped by Fury a couple of times, actually, in the youths. Stopped by Joe Joyce. He's been in with the likes of Tony Yoka, Ivan Dichko, a good Cuban guy called Jose Lardoet. So, you know, a lot of experience there for him, and in good shape by the look of it.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, he is the man taking on Moses Itauma on Saturday night.
257.1 for Istvan Bernal.
So that's 18 stone 5. So that's exactly the same as Takam. He looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah, does look in shape.
And now we welcome to the scale, coming to us from Chatham, Kent, England. He had a stellar amateur career, and now at just 18 years of age, he is undefeated with 5 wins. 3 of his 5 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Moses Italma.
Oh, great roar here for Moses Italma. Fight number 6 for the 18-year-old heavyweight sensation. You can see Frank Warren on the stage. Believes in this young man, believes he can go to the top of the division. Let's see how he looks on the scales.
236.1 for Moses Italma.
So that's 16 stone 12, 236. There's plenty to come there, isn't there, physically, when you look at him, because he is 18, and
Once again,
this will sound a bit mad, but he is a bit boyish, that frame, when you look at it, particularly around the chest, around the shoulders a little bit. But that'll flesh out naturally over time. They don't need to go crazy with that, but to say that he looks like there's plenty more to come when he's nearly 17 stone, that's a good thing.
Well, that is the lightest weight of his career so far. When he made his debut back in January, he was 248, so he's come in now at 236. I think he is leaning out a little bit. There's a little bit more hardness in him, in what I'm seeing, but great opportunity, great stage for him on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're right, at the age he is, that's what will happen. The pro training will take that kind of puppy fat off you, lean muscle will replace it, your body composition will change basically, and that's what they're doing with him.
Heavyweight Championships. We will first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Evanston, Illinois, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 20 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw, 17 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Junior Anthony Hurricane Wright.
Well, fight number 26 for the man they call the Hurricane. He's got the tall task of taking on Arslanbek Makhmudov on Saturday night. But he's spoken well this week, Andy.
Yeah, he has, you know, and he was a good cruiserweight. He had a world title fight as a cruiserweight. He's a gym rat from what he told us, and that's why he was able to take this at relatively short notice. He's our smallest heavyweight. I expect him to weigh lightest of all the guys we've got.
229.5 for Junior Anthony Wright.
I would make you right.
Yeah, so that's 16 stone 5. That's 16 stone 5. 229. But he looks good. He looks nice and solid. He's got no nerves, has he? You know, he knows this is a tall task. He knows he's a realist. He's been around this business a long time.
Coming to us from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He is undefeated with 17 wins. 16 of his 17 wins come by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending NABF heavyweight champion, Arslanbek, the Lion Makhmudov.
Well, here comes Arslanbek Makhmudov. A quite terrifying figure, in my opinion. He's 6'5". Apparently, I think he's a bit bigger than that. Cuts quite a foreboding figure around the hotel. He's got 16 knockouts from his 17 wins so far, and he'll be looking to do exactly the same on Saturday night.
He's got that kind of beetling brow, hasn't he, where the eyebrows turn up at the corners, which makes him look like he's perpetually frowning, even when he's not.
£260 for Arslanbek Makhmudov.
260, that's interesting. That puts him at 17 stone 8. No, 18 stone 8, 18 stone 8, which I think is a bit lighter actually than he's been in recent fights. He's been very consistent with his weights. He's been 260 to 265, but it's a bit lighter than he was last time. But
once again,
in terms of the percentage, it's nothing really, is it?
In a scheduled 10-round contest for the NABF and vacant WBA Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships.
As Makhmudov just holds that fist up quite close to the head of Junior Anthony Wright. My goodness. And what I found quite amusing was he tried to face off where he shouldn't be facing off. He just walked straight towards Junior Anthony Wright in the incorrect position because he couldn't wait to look into his eyes, Andy.
No, he looks up for it, doesn't he? He looks very, very keen to get going. Chatting to him the other day, though, he's one of these guys who surprised you a bit. He was quite softly spoken, actually. But yeah, when he flicks that switch, he's a serious guy.
To the scale, competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the vacant IBF and vacant WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships. First, we welcome to the scale, coming to us from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, Canada. He brings a professional record consisting of 23 wins, just 1 defeat, 22 of his 23 wins coming by way of knockout, introducing the Grizzly, Simon Keane.
Well, here comes Simon Keane. He's been an interesting figure this week. He's looked very, very intense. Anytime he takes to a microphone, he keeps it very, very simple, as I found out, quite to my detriment at the press conference, Andy.
He made you work yesterday.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, you had Joe Parker sat next to you.
Yes, I did.
He is an intense guy.
255.1 for Simon
255,
Keane.
so that's 18 stone 3. So that's interesting because he's been 248 in his last 3 fights. So half a stone to put on there, which is not an insignificant amount when you look at the shape he's in.
From South Auckland, New Zealand. He brings a professional record consisting of 32 wins, 3 defeats, 22 of his 32 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO World Champion. Lupesoli Ai, La Auli Ole, Mali Etoa, Joseph Parker.
Well, here is the former WBO World Heavyweight Champion Joseph Parker, up there with trainer Andy Lee. It seems every time we see him, he is more and more rejuvenated. Of course, had that thriller with Joe Joyce where he showed a lot of heart, Andy Clark.
Yeah, he absolutely did, and they're a great team, these two. Andy feels the best is yet to come. Joseph thinks the same. We shall see. I hope they're right, because he's a good guy to have around.
250.1 for Joseph Parker.
250.1, that's 17 stone 12, so quite a lot heavier than he was for his last fight, but lighter than he was against Joyce.
Yeah.
Joyce was his career heaviest of 18 stone 3, 255, so he's in at 250.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 10-round contest for the vacant IBF and vacant WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships.
Well, there is the intensity of Simon Keane, but this time it is matched by Joseph Parker, who's not taken his eyes off him until then.
Well, exactly, but you know, you look at these two operate this week and they're different. Joseph's very, very experienced. He stayed nice and calm and relaxed. Simon's been very intense all week. Hard to sustain that energy, but if that's naturally who you are, then it's difficult to turn that off. But Joe's just decided to tap in and raise that intensity himself just then. As you said, that was the first time. That's a sign of an experienced guy.
No, absolutely. But even there, you could just see that intensity from Simon Keane.
Oh, you can.
As
yeah.
you say, you know, maybe it is a little bit of inexperience at a top
Ladies and
stage.
gentlemen, our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night in our chief support. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the British WBO European, WBA Continental, and vacant Commonwealth Heavyweight Championships. First, we will welcome to the scale, coming to us from London, England. He brings an undefeated record with 12 wins. 11 of his 12 wins come by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBO European Heavyweight Champion, Big D, David Adelaide.
Well, here comes the WBO European Heavyweight Champion, David Adelaide. Unbeaten in 12 fights, 11 knockouts, and he is really on it. You can tell for this fight, the build-up has been very tasty. Biggest fight of his life, big opportunity, Andy.
Massive. Massive. British title, vacant Commonwealth, the ranking belts, 3 top 15 rankings between them. So that means something. He looks in frightening nick.
232 pounds for David Adelaide.
232 pounds, so that's 16 stone 8.
And now we welcome to the scale, coming to us from Ipswich, England. Undefeated, he has 16 wins. 15 of his 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending British and WBA Continental Heavyweight Champion, Fabio Wardley.
Well, here comes the reigning defending British champion, Fabio Wardley. He believes that he's seen it all before. He believes he's been in with sterner tests than David Adelaide, and he has oozed confidence in the build-up to this fight.
He has, and I thought when he did well yesterday, and you let them go at each other, you kind of stirred them up a little bit and then let them go at each other, which was good. It was entertaining. He managed to patronise David Adelaide quite successfully, taking that kind of, not elder statesman role exactly, but the more experienced guy role.
241 pounds for Fabio Wardley.
So that's 17 stone 3, so that's a pound lighter than he was last time against Michael Coffey, but he's been very consistent with his weights recently. He's been around about that basically. That's what we expected, that's what we've got. David's a little bit lighter than last time, but ultimately they're exactly where they've been recently.
Well, I believe this is the only...
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this our chief
so far.
Support tomorrow night. 12-round schedule
we have
for the
security
British, WBO European, WBA Continental, and vacant Commonwealth Heavyweight Championships.
I do wonder what David Adelaide is saying to Fabio Wardley there. I saw a sort of calm down gesture from Fabio Wardley, but they do not like each other. The build-up has been very spicy.
Yeah, it has. I'll tell you what's interesting when you watch face-offs is how they set their feet, because what you don't want to do is stand with your feet square, because you've got nothing if somebody shoves you. And Wardley there just had his feet just set a little bit and his torso just leaning back slightly. You've just got to be ready, because we don't want to see a shove, not after what's happened between these two, because kind of anything could happen, but at the same time, if you get pushed, you can't go flying backwards. That's no good.
This close to the fight, you can't be taking
No, not
chances
at all.
like that. It's quite a tall stage as well. It's quite a fall back down if you do fall off of that. Great to see the Lord Lonsdale belt there. It is glistening, and it's great to have it on the line for this fight.
Oh, hello.
Warm-up bells. And then the WBC wristband champion.
Here we go.
Right, well, a spicy face-off there with Wardley and Adelaide. Can't wait for that one. Delighted to be joined by a man who will be keeping a very close eye on what happens on Saturday night. I see you. Alex Krasik, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Happy to be here with you guys.
Tell us how you're feeling about this fight. Look, it's no secret. Your man has a fight lined up. Your man Alexander Usyk has a fight lined up with Tyson Fury.
Yep.
But Tyson Fury is fighting this monster in Francis Ngannou first.
But he's a monster. Look at him. Boxing-wise, let's see on Saturday night. But he's as a fighter, he's looking great. He's motivated. he's well trained and he have this big heart. I mean, in his previous MMA career, he showed it many times. Well, from the side of boxing skills, this is something that can determine the result, of course. But it will be amazing to watch it.
How does it feel to be here in Riyadh? It looks like the guys here are putting an awful lot into our sport, and what a spectacle.
It's just amazing, you see? Wow. I've been in boxing for a while, but I've never seen something even close to similar to what we have here. Just amazing. I can't imagine 3-4 years ago, I could not imagine that boxing can be like this. And now we are witnessing it. This is history in the making.
Will Alexander Usyk be ringside on Saturday?
With the help of God, yeah. He's landing in 1 hour. He will be there for sure.
Are you expecting any, any repeat of what happened last time?
We are not expecting anything. Whatever is happening for the reason, and we are here also for the reason. And the reason we are here, everyone knows, because we are announcing the big fight. The signing has been already announced, but the fight itself has not. So Usyk will be there. We don't know how we know 99.9 how the outcome goes on Saturday night, but anything may happen. So we wait, and after it's finished, then we can legally take the next step.
I mean, how is he, Alexander? I know he had a slight niggle injury-wise.
Normally, when you've been in boxing for 25 years, it's okay to have injuries, especially when you're already 36. I'm not a boxer, I'm 41, and I have some injuries even without going to the training camp. So,
but no problem being ready for the 23rd of December.
No, we have set up a camp for him in Europe. He's coming here from Spain. Did I mention this loud? So
you certainly did.
I disclosed the secret, yeah.
It's an exclusive.
Yes. So we set up a camp there, so he'll be fighting there, he'll be training there, getting prepared, and I can only wish good luck to Tyson, and we will pray for him to stay healthy and safe in the upcoming fight.
It feels like there's going to be a lot of people, Andy, ringside, watching the fight, either like this or like this.
Oh, there will be, because there's so much invested in this, and as he said, and I agree with him, I feel 99.9% like I know who's going to win. But as we've been discussing the last couple of days, Alex, with Ngannou coming from that MMA background, he's going to have to try and make it rough, and then that could bring an accidental elbow, a head clash, a cut, stuff like that. So you will be kind of watching it through your fingers.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. When you're fighting a boxer, you know what to expect from him, and you know how to defend yourself. But when you're fighting a guy who is not finishing his punch, not curving his punch, you don't know what's gonna happen. So you can expect him to come from left and he can come from the right, and that's something that might be a problem for the guy.
Brilliant.
Oh, some legends here.
Wow. Well, we have been joined by Superman Alex Krasik. We're going to let you go. Thank you so much for the words of wisdom.
Good luck.
Wow, Mr. Roy Jones Jr. has joined us. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
I'm very, very good. Tell us your thoughts about being here in Riyadh. What an incredible event.
Incredible event, incredible setting, incredible. I mean, this is so great for boxing, because in the USA, just last week we had another network to get out of boxing. Now having these people get involved in boxing, it makes it so much different, so much better for the whole sport of boxing, and they want to bring the sport back, and this is a grand way to show that they are trying to bring it back.
They absolutely are. Tell us a little bit about this fight. A lot of boxers are saying it's quite hard to try to prepare for someone who you don't really know what they're going to do, because maybe they don't know what they're going to do. How difficult must it be for Tyson Fury to prepare for Francis Ngannou?
Well, the good thing about it is not as difficult as they say, because guess what? No kicking, no airborne, no kneeing. So all you got to worry about is two hands. How many different ways can we see two hands? He ain't fighting Roy Jones Jr., so how many different ways can we see two hands? Two hands ain't going to come but one or two ways, you feel me? So now, that being said, the experience factor in the boxing ring is what's going to work for Tyson Fury. You don't go out there and play chess with him in round 1 and round 2. You just play checkers with him in round 1 and round 2. Let him get used to it, everything, get used to it all. Let you see what he has. Once you see what he has, now you turn it into a chess game from round 3 to round 12. And hopefully that chess game will be checkmated before you get to round 12.
Listen, one more question, Roy, before we let you go. If you had to give Francis Ngannou one piece of advice heading into this fight, what would it be?
Work the body, go for the knockout. You don't want to try to beat him in a decision because you're not smart enough, you don't have the experience. Work the body, go for the knockout.
Just before I let you go, Roy, I have to say this. You've always been one of my favourites, but a couple of years ago you provided me with a real highlight because we were in Belgrade, Republic Square, doing an amateur event, and it started raining and the whole thing was going downhill. It was looking really dismal, and then out of nowhere appears Roy Jones Jr., Superman, mic in hand, and he gave us You Must Have Forgotten Can't Be Touched live. Sensational.
Thank you, my brother. I try to do what I can. God blessed me to be an entertainer in this sport. And so I try to always be that entertainer. And I hate that I didn't come along. And I say I hate it, but maybe this is the right timing because maybe these people are wanting to do things that are going to be inspiring for the youth and to inspire somebody to get back in shape and go out like right now. Me and Anderson Silva never could get the money we wanted to fight, right? When I was the one who pioneered this idea. Me and Anderson Silva were the first boxer MMA guys to talk about actually getting in a boxing ring and fighting. So we're the first one that pioneered this, but we never benefited from it. So maybe now that these people are getting involved, maybe myself and Anderson Silva finally will get the chance to benefit off of what we pioneered.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant talking to you, getting that insight. Thank you so much, Roy Jones Jr.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Wow, great to see Superman still ready to go.
Superman.
And we're swapping out Superman for a man who is looking to look super, I guess,
Yeah, absolutely.
on Saturday night.
Nicely done.
Come on, Big D, David Adelaide, tell us about that weigh-in. What were you saying to him up there?
He just came in heavy. Yeah, sillier than I thought. That was all.
What did you say to him?
The time is now. The talk is not going to matter no more. He said relax. I said I'm always relaxed. Look at me. Yeah, man, I live for these sort of moments. Like I said, I'm just a small kid from West London, and I'm chief support on a big show in Saudi Arabia, about 6,000 miles away. It's more humbling than anything else.
Just give us an idea of what you do between the weigh-in and fight night, because there's a lot of time to kill now, and you can't be investing too much emotional energy into it. You need to try and switch off. How do you do that?
Just another day in the office, right? I go home, I sleep, I'm gonna chill, probably do my press-ups, yeah, I need to go eat. I think there's an event afterwards we're gonna go to, so yeah, just have some fun there. It's nothing really new. Different opponent, but it's just the same thing. I've had these fights many times before. Same thing in the amateurs. I'm used to weigh in the amateurs and I fight on the same day, so it's nothing really new.
So I would imagine that Fabio Wardley is going to go to this same dinner. Are you going to be watching how he eats again?
More than likely, depends on our position. If he's, the last time he happened to be right opposite me, so every time I lifted my head up, he was there. So, that's how it played out.
What exactly did you mean? Like he doesn't know how to eat properly? That's what you were saying, right?
He just got bad table manners. That's all. Yeah, his table manners ain't good. Yeah, it's pretty bad. You need to have some etiquette. So yeah.
No, I love that. I mean, that's an unusual cuss, isn't it? I've not heard that one before.
It did amuse me. I didn't
really
actually pick up on it at the time. And then only when I watched it back, I was like, that's quite a good line, just talking about how he eats.
Yeah, it's just what came to my mind at the time, and I noticed that, he was a laughing stock. Me and my coaches were laughing at him, but,
I think this is the first time that you've seen each other kind of topless, I guess, that close. What did you make of the shape of him? What did you make of the sort of energy that you felt up there from Fabio Wardley?
Didn't really look at him. I didn't really look at his physique and whatnot. That doesn't really bother me. I didn't even worry about his weight. My coaches were like, "Oh, he's silly." As soon as they heard 241 and they looked in their scales and they saw the weight, they were like, "Nah, he's done it all wrong." He's heavy-footed as it is already, and he walks forward all the time. So, being that heavy don't make no sense.
Do you think he's going to walk onto one on Saturday night?
We'll have to see. Either that or I'll just back him up anyways. So yeah.
brilliant speaking to you, David Adelaide. You've got so much more to do tonight. We'll let you crack on, my friend. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, man.
You're not gonna. You're not
so
gonna.
many people
Yeah.
I'm just soaking it all up.
Oh,
it's good. It's good.
soak
It's
it in.
incredible, isn't it? The array of champions over there is absolutely mind-blowing.
I was saying it. You know, my dad's here, and I'm not. It's crazy. I used to watch all of these fights in my dad's living room when I was a kid. You know, growing up in a house with my mum and dad, we used to watch all of these guys boxing. So when I walk onto the stage and I'm seeing all their faces, it makes me laugh. You know,
It's surreal, isn't it?
It is. It is. Life's good. You know, the universe can humble you in many different ways. It's funny. So.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, David Adelaide.
Cheers.
Wow. And now very shortly we've got the main event coming up. Well, look. I'll tell you, you know it's a big event when you've got Michael Buffer in town coming to announce this, and he's still ready to go, isn't he, Michael Buffer? Goodness me.
Always. He looks absolutely immaculate as always. You know, he comes out for the main event. You've got the dignitaries up on stage there, Frank Warren, Todd DeBuff. Frank's cut a very casual, relaxed figure this week, hasn't he? Just striding around, him and Bob Arum like a couple of boxing dons that they absolutely are. I love that moment on Tuesday where we kind of introduced them in at the grand arrivals, and you've got these two Hall of Famers just taking it nice and slow, walking up to the stage, knowing where they are, knowing what this is, but knowing that even for them, this is something different.
Good evening and welcome to a part of the official beginning of Riyadh season. As Hall of Fame promoter Mr. Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, along with Hall of Fame promoter Mr. Bob Arum for Top Rank Boxing, proudly presents, in association with Stella and Gimmick, the baddest man on the planet, for the baddest, a WBC special event, 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division, broadcast live by TNT Sports Box Office to the United Kingdom and Ireland, ESPN Plus pay-per-view in the United States, and on the Zone live around other parts of the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this premier event is in the all-new spectacular Kingdom Arena, Boulevard City, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And special thanks to the Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and His Excellency Chairman, General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Turkey Al-Sheikh. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring the fighters to the stage and then to the scales. Coming up first, with a combat sports record of 20 fights, 17 victories, including 12 big wins by knockout, living, training, and fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Fighting for and representing his native Cameroon, he's the former UFC World Heavyweight Champion, the man known as the Predator. He is Francis Ngannou!
Well, here comes the Predator. Great ovation here for Francis Ngannou.
The 37-year-old
Israel Adesanya following closely behind as well, a UFC superstar. What a moment in the life for Ngannou.
His opponent. He has a professional boxing record of 34 fights, 33 victories with 1 draw, 24 of those victories by knockout. From Malcolm, England, United Kingdom, the lineal 2-time heavyweight champion, the reigning WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury!
Well, here comes Tyson Fury. Huge ovation here in Riyadh, the WBC and lineal world heavyweight champion of boxing. Sugar Hill in front, and of course, Tyson Fury soaking in every moment, Andy Clark.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I do quite like this trend maybe that Carlos Takam and Francis Ngannou has started here of coming up to the weigh-in in your street clothes, no tracksuit. It's unusual, isn't it?
Well, they're heavyweights.
UFC former heavyweight champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on the scales this time for the official weigh-in. Francis Ngannou.
We're going to see Francis Ngannou on the scales now. In the UFC, he has to make a heavyweight limit of 265 pounds. I'm curious what he weighs without a limit.
272.1 pounds for the Predator.
Pretty much what we thought.
Yeah.
And now he disrobes. So 272 is 19 stone 6
Of
as he
pure
reveals
muscle,
that.
by
He
the
looks
way.
amazing.
Look at the state of him. Absolutely unbelievable shape.
But I do. What I find interesting about that again is just the fact that he's not. He doesn't care about boxing protocols. He just came up in his jeans, his trainers, his shirt. I don't have to make a weight, so what does it matter?
Why
you
would
know,
he?
and now he gets the shirt off. You know, it's just a different take on it.
Yeah.
The man known as the Gypsy King is Tyson Fury.
Well, here's Tyson Fury. I believe someone has thrown Francis Ngannou's T-shirt into the crowd. That may have been Tyson. I'm not sure. We'll have to watch it back.
277.74, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, the reigning WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Fighters, on face-off.
So 277, that's 19 stone 11. That's exactly what he was against Wilder the third time around. But he's got his tracksuit on and trainers and hat, and I mean that might be 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah. And it's the same with Ngannou, by the way. He's got his trainers, got his jeans on.
And a watch.
Yeah, and a watch. I think that's the watch that Cristiano Ronaldo gifted him.
The event takes place tomorrow night at the Kingdom Arena. Stone Arena, season 2023. The battle of the best. Who will be the best man on the planet? The brother.
I find this quite interesting, you know, because it is playful to an extent, but it's also not, because Fury was just trying to lean into him there and just get on his toes and almost kind of bear his weight down on him, and Ngannou wasn't having
it.
any of it.
And that's what Tyson Fury did yesterday. Tried to sort of stick the head in a little bit, but Ngannou went right back at him.
And that's what you'd expect, because these are two champions. Ngannou is not somebody who is going to be second fiddle to anyone, who's going to be intimidated by anyone. The idea that that can happen to him is absolutely laughable, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you can see the Riyadh Championship belt there in the middle as well. And the winner will walk away with that and walk away with the title of the baddest man on the planet. Will it be Tyson Fury? Will it be Francis Ngannou? We are now just hours away from finding out the answer to that question.
We are indeed. We are indeed.
A few poses here for photos. A few people getting in.
So 19 stone 6 Ngannou, 19 stone 11 Fury, both clothed, but the difference will be the same essentially. So there's nothing in it at all, is there really?
Nothing in it at all. And I'm pretty sure I know what Frank Warren would have been saying up there when those heads were going in. He would have been saying exactly what he was saying yesterday. And what he was saying yesterday was, no, don't get cut. So no one wants to see this fight, for whatever reason, get scrapped for any ugly antics at the weigh-in. I think they kept it within reason there, Andy.
Yeah, these two guys are far too experienced for that. They know how much has been put into this, and nobody wants to train all camp and get to the end of it, and then because of a moment of madness at a weigh-in, not fight and not get paid.
Climb back to the very top of the tree, fighting the lineal heavyweight champ, Tyson Fury. How does it feel?
Feels great. You know what they said? To make a big step, you have to step back. So I step back and I make a big step very high.
The highest of the high.
The highest that he has ever been made. So I'm very excited, and it's going down tomorrow night. Everything been good. Everything been good. Training camp, everything went well, and we're about to give the show to the people.
It is no secret that you have the hardest punch ever recorded. Your overhand right. Now, Tyson Fury's been down 6 times in his career, 5 times to that overhand right. That must give you a lot of confidence.
If that overhand right touch him, he'll go down, because he hasn't been knocked down by those people who are the hardest punchers on the world. They don't have that record.
Now, you've brought in a legend, Mike Tyson. We've heard from Carlos Takam. He's given you high praise, says you've never trained this hard. Mike's also said, listen, you're flattening people in sparring. How good has the preparation been for this fight?
Well, the preparation been very good, and it was very important to have somebody like Mike next to me. Very inspiring, you know, to see how. In fact, I was still going on YouTube and watch some of his training video, and was tough. But we make it all the way through, right? Yeah, we were saw some few days, not every day, Mike. But in the news!
At least, listen, John Fury is on the stage, back God, otherwise we might have a problem. But now, Francis, how does it go down? I think people are saying that you've got to start fast, got to start early.
I think we're going to take the time to fill out the pace. I think we're going to take a couple minutes at the beginning, but I think this fight will end very quick.
There's some mind games, there was some tickling of the ribs and the abs. Is this just mind games? Does that get in your head at all? Because Tyson Fury is the master of it.
No. I have been in the game so long, and I have played this game so long with so many people that play mind games, and this can get to me. I think it's just a part of the game now. I consider it as a part of the game. It's not nothing personal. And then when we get in the octagon tomorrow, it's a fight time. When it comes to fight time, we're going to fight. That's it.
No doubt. Francis, I'll let you go. Pleasure. Enjoy. Good luck. Now, I think we are going to be joined by Tyson Fury, the main man. We'll be heading over this way in just a moment. Here he comes. He's on his way. Now, Tyson, join us here. The man is here, the champ. Talk to me. Mike, I think you're the first person ever to call Francis Ngannou fat and small. Talk me through that. You still believe that, though? You've seen him on the scale?
Yeah, I think he's a big fat sausage, and I'm knocking his back out.
That's the game plan, right? You're not looking to make this long?
No, we don't get paid for long, we get paid for short, and I'm going to make it nice and short for him.
Francis Ngannou comes from a completely different combat discipline, MMA. We've seen those highlight reel knockouts. It's a different way. What does he bring to the table that you've been working on that could maybe potentially cause you some trouble?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing he brings to the table. No, not you know, the hardest ever recorded punch. He's got to land it, of course.
It's like a tennis table champion, table tennis champion, facing Djokovic in Wimbledon final. Totally different.
So there's no way. There has been a slew of MMA stars come into boxing. None of them have done as well as you'd expect. So you believe it's going to be same again. Francis Ngannou is going to go home disappointed. You're going to go on to huge fights in the heavyweight.
Let's just say this, boxing is a gentleman's sport. Boxing is a sweet science. It's not a two-men brawl in the middle of a ring. It's not the biggest and strongest will win. It's whoever's got the most boxing skill and whoever's got the ability to set out the knockout punch.
Now, we don't want to look forward too far forward.
I don't want to look forward anywhere. I'm only looking forward to tomorrow, that's it. We're not talking about any other prick in this world. We're talking about Francis Ngannou tomorrow night, and I'm going to knock a motherfucker out, and then I'm going to take a week off. I don't want to hear from any of you guys about boxing. Let me have some time with my family, and then I'll come and take on a little guy.
We apologise for the language used for those viewers out there. Tyson?
I need to apologise if there's anybody out there who don't like my language. Get the fuck out that door!
I apologise again on behalf of Tyson. I think we're going to let you go, brother. Good luck. Enjoy.
You know what, I just don't know what
Fury, look, well, one thing's clear, he is very focused on Francis Ngannou tomorrow. He doesn't want to be drawn into any conversations about Alexander Usyk. He knows he can't take his eye off the ball, Andy.
No, he can't, and he'll be aware of what an unusual situation this is to have a fight scheduled. As you asked Ricky Hatton, it's not par for the course. It's tempting fate. You know, you are tempting the gods into punishing you for hubris in these kinds of situations. So he has to get the job done. He has to get it done as cleanly and therefore as quickly as he can. Because whatever we say about Ngannou and his lack of boxing experience and how hard it is to land on Fury, and all of those things are true, and he's an athlete, and he's very strong, and he's very physical, and he can make things awkward for you, and he does present certain dangers to your physical well-being, shall we say. I don't think he presents a threat in terms of beating Tyson Fury, but he is capable of jeopardising that fight on the 23rd by some other means. I'm not saying intentional or by any foul means, but an elbow, a head, whatever it is, you know, he's got to take care of business.
Andy, thank you so much for your insight. We've now got a gala dinner to head over to, where we're going to be back on your screens, live streaming and having a chat with so many more people. Thank you for joining us for the weigh-in here today. Wow, we are hours away now from finding out who the baddest man on the planet is.